kind of fighter, I'm going to be putting pressure on you even when you're not punching. So it'll be interesting to see how he deals with that.
Look at it, he's lost to guys who are smaller than him. I think it's his, it's his weakness. It's his kryptonite is the faster guys who don't get hit by his big punches.
What is it about this version of Joshua that you feel you can exploit, and what kind of interests you the most about this version of Joshua?
I mean, he's an amazing fighter, one of the best heavyweights ever. I just think with speed and footwork and being in a rhythm, I don't think he can handle that. He doesn't like that because he is a little bit stiff. He does rely on his power. Obviously, you get hit by one of his shots, you're cooked, but I believe.
This is all my guys and supporting that. Once again, this is TVB. I look at this shit like a BTC. Down next week.
Anthony Joshua humiliates Jake Paul during heated IG Live. Anthony Joshua spoke with the confidence of a man who already knows the outcome. His tone alone made Jake Paul look wildly out of his depth. AJ sounded like he's preparing to outclass, outsmart, and completely overwhelm Jake from the opening seconds.
And land heavy punches, and I'm going to make sure I'm going to expose him to certain tricks in boxing that he may not have seen yet, and I'm going to bring him to another school of boxing that I don't think he's been exposed to yet.
AJ's words hit like a hammer. There's no guessing, no second chances. He's signaling that this encounter will be decisive, leaving Jake Paul with no room to maneuver. Every ounce of Joshua's experience and power is being telegraphed, a warning that only one outcome seems realistically possible.
Is it a win for you if you just beat him, or do you need to knock him out?
I need to knock him out.
Jake Paul talks a big game, but Anthony Joshua operates on a different plane. Paul's so-called sneaky shots and body work are small moves in a chess match he barely understands. AJ's composure, precision, and power make it clear that any fancy tactics are unlikely to land effectively.
Sneaky knockout punches coming. Lots of great work to the body. People underestimate my jab.
Eddie Hearn's brutally honest perspective immediately cuts through Paul's hype. Eddie Hearn doesn't mince words. He paints the matchup as a near one-sided affair. Paul's overconfidence meets the stark reality of AJ's experience and raw power. In Hearn's eyes, this isn't just a challenge. It's a storm waiting to dismantle anyone daring to step into Joshua's ring.
I think he's got absolutely no chance. I think he's going to get smashed to pieces.
Frank Warren breaks it down like a seasoned analyst. Anthony Joshua's achievements, natural size, and championship ring time tower over Jake Paul. This isn't merely a heavyweight clash, it's a masterclass in why experience, technique, and pedigree often eclipse raw ambition. Paul faces an almost insurmountable mountain.
AJ's a big favourite for obvious reasons. I mean, I've just said double world champion, Olympian, Olympic gold medalist. He's a natural heavyweight. He's fighting somebody who at the end of the day has had 12 fights, no amateur fights that I'm aware of, and he's a cruiserweight. He's come up to cruiserweight, so it's a tough.
Dave Allen highlights the stark reality. Jake Paul simply cannot match Anthony Joshua's size and natural heavyweight presence. This isn't a minor discrepancy. It's a fundamental gap that could dictate the pace, power, and physical dominance throughout the fight. Paul is stepping into territory where every pound counts.
I'm not sure really, Jake Paul's a cruiserweight, isn't he? Not even that. He won't be anywhere near as big as partner of mine, that's for sure.
Duke McKenzie points to a subtle yet critical advantage. Anthony Joshua tapping into Usyk's camp expertise could sharpen his already lethal skill set. Any marked improvement in technique or ring IQ would make Jake Paul's challenge nearly insurmountable, turning what seemed like a spectacle into a one-sided masterclass.
Joshua training with the Usyk camp now?
Yeah, he's training with the Usyk camp.
If he's training with the Usyk camp and there's a marked improvement on his performance, he can quite easily clean up again.
Listen, what I'm saying.
Carl Frosch captures AJ's absolute confidence. This is business, spectacle, and domination rolled into 1-1. Joshua sees the fight as routine, a chance to assert his authority while making a statement. For Jake Paul, this isn't just a challenge. It's a high-risk trial against a seasoned, methodical powerhouse.
And Anthony Joshua said, Jake or anyone can get this work, no mercy. I took some time out, I'm coming back with a mega show. Big opportunity for me, whether you like it or not. I'm here to do massive numbers, have big fights and break every record whilst keeping cool, calm and collected. So chilling it. I mean, come on, he's jumping in with fake Paul, who has no experience, no fights and no world ranking at heavyweight. Easy work, easy one.
Ben Davison highlights a sobering reality. Jake Paul is playing with fire. While many see him as a social media phenom in the ring, he represents a serious risk, both to himself and to the fighters he steps in against. This isn't entertainment. This is raw, unforgiving combat where a single misstep can have major consequences. Davison's insight underscores the danger of underestimating someone with Paul's reach, power, and unpredictable style. The mix of hype and reality creates a volatile scenario, and stepping in against a seasoned champion like Anthony Joshua could expose Paul to the full magnitude of elite level boxing.
Dangerous in the sense of for the health of Jake, would you say?
Yeah, this is a sport that we love, and I think we need to protect that. And you know, he's one of the most dangerous guys in the world to go step in a ring with. Like, you saw that with Ngannou, who was a seasoned, you know, one of the most durable men on the planet in one of the toughest sports in combat sport.
Spencer Oliver paints a stark picture for Jake Paul. Stepping into the ring with Anthony Joshua is not just a challenge, it's an entirely different battlefield. Joshua has previously dismantled athletes coming from other disciplines, showing how a few rounds can expose glaring gaps in skill, experience, and ring IQ. Paul's limited boxing background and losses to more legitimate opponents highlight the steep climb ahead. Oliver makes it clear that any confidence Paul brings is fragile against AJ's clinical execution. This isn't about hype or social media bravado, it's about survival, precision, and raw heavyweight mastery.
God help Jake Paul, that's all I can say. We saw that what Anthony Joshua had done to Francis Ngannou. He went out there and iced him in a couple of rounds. A guy coming from a different discipline. Well, this kid's coming from another level. You know, white collar boxing in 2018, gone through the mill, and the only boxer really that he's actually boxed, a legitimate boxer he got beat by, and that was in Tommy Fury.
Derek Chisora breaks it down bluntly. The fight cannot linger. Anthony Joshua's power and finishing ability make it clear that the longer Jake Paul stays in the ring, the more he exposes himself to serious danger. Chisora's comparison to the Francis Ngannou fight illustrates the scale of dominance Joshua can impose in a few rounds. Paul's challenge isn't endurance, it's survival under relentless precision and raw, heavy-hitting power. If Joshua approaches this fight like he did Ngannou, there's almost no scenario where Paul escapes without taking severe punishment. The stakes are immense, and the ring will expose every weakness.
So I told Anthony, I already messaged Anthony, I said, listen, I tell you what, I said to AJ, if this goes past 5 rounds, everybody's gonna be having a go at you, because you can't go past 5 rounds with this kid. It has to go past 1 round or 2 rounds. Past beyond 4 or 5 rounds, you know, people are gonna be doubting you as a fighter himself. So he has to smoke him out like what he did Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia in 1 round.
Johnny Nelson doesn't hold back when breaking down the massive gulf between these two fighters. Jake Paul is, at best, a domestic-level competitor, a name that might generate clicks or casual hype, but on the professional stage, he's untested against the caliber of a true heavyweight champion, placing him in the ring with Anthony Joshua, a 2-time world champion with Olympic pedigree and years of experience, is almost surreal. The weight difference alone, with AJ tipping the scales around 245 pounds, puts Paul at a severe disadvantage in terms of power, reach, and natural physicality. Joshua has faced top heavyweights and proven time and again that he can control the ring with both technique and strength, whereas Paul's experience is limited, with no amateur foundation to fall back on. Nelson's point is clear. This is not a fight. It's an exhibition of a mismatch, and Paul will be forced to survive in a domain far beyond anything he has faced before.
For Jake Paul, absolutely crazy. Jake Paul is a domestic level professional fighter here in the UK. Would he win a British title? No, I don't think so. So now they're putting this domestic level fight in with a former heavyweight 2-time champion of the world. The weight is 245, so I think last time Anthony Joshua weighed around that, it was when he boxed.
Tony Jeffries provides a nuanced view of the matchup, acknowledging the small, almost theoretical chance that Jake Paul could score a knockout. In boxing, upsets do happen, and Paul's power, especially with 10 ounces gloves at heavyweight, cannot be dismissed outright. Yet the reality is stark. Anthony Joshua is an elite-level professional with the combination of size, speed, experience, and tactical intelligence intelligence that very few can contend with. He's a two-time world champion and Olympic gold medalist, a man whose ring IQ allows him to anticipate and dismantle opponents with ease. Jeffrey's commentary underscores that while Paul's knockout claim may grab attention, the odds are overwhelmingly against him. Joshua's finishing ability, honed over years of high-stakes competition, makes it extremely unlikely that Paul's power will match the precision and timing needed to land a decisive blow. This fight is less about speculation and more about AJ asserting dominance against an inexperienced challenger.
Paul is going to win this fight by knockout. You would think I'm absolutely crazy, right? But the thing is, it can happen. 10-ounce gloves, heavyweight, Jake Paul can punch hard. But do I think that's going to happen? Absolutely not, mate. Anthony Joshua is an absolute beast, an unbelievable, highly skilled, highly trained, highly experienced professional boxer with power in both hands, and he's really good at finishing.
David Benavidez cuts straight to the point. Anthony Joshua is a force of nature whose reputation is built on repeated, undeniable dominance. The reference to Gandu isn't casual. It's a clear illustration that Joshua dismantles inexperienced opponents with clinical efficiency. Any fighter stepping into the ring without a strong amateur or professional foundation risks being overwhelmed from the opening bell. Jake Paul, despite social media fame and marketing hype, lacks the depth of skill, strategy, and endurance that AJ has refined over decades. Benavidez' analysis reminds us that this isn't just a difference in size or power, it's a gap in professional mastery. Joshua's timing, footwork, and ability to read opponents make him exceptionally dangerous for anyone untested at this level. This fight is a study in contrasts, seasoned, methodical championship experience versus a lightweight understanding of professional boxing, highlighting the brutal reality awaiting Paul inside the ring.
Anthony Joshua is Anthony Joshua. You know, he's multiple-time champion, Olympic gold medalist. You know what I mean? The last time somebody stepped in the ring with him that didn't have that much boxing experience was Ngannou, and you've seen what happened to him.
Duke McKenzie's insight highlights a simple but critical fact. This fight is a physical and experiential mismatch of alarming proportions. Anthony Joshua, an 18-stone-plus trained heavyweight, possesses not only immense power, but also the knowledge and conditioning to impose his will in the ring. Jake Paul, significantly smaller and lacking experience against elite opposition, is being asked to compete at a level for which he has neither earned credibility nor developed the necessary skill set. McKenzie emphasizes that Paul has not faced multiple top-tier heavyweights, and his exposure to genuine professional boxing is minimal. This makes the encounter extremely dangerous, not only in terms of potential defeat, but also the physical risk inherent in facing a seasoned, hard-hitting champion. The odds are stacked heavily against Paul. His survival depends on more than strategy. It requires escaping the immense pressure and force that Joshua brings with every punch, demonstrating the brutal reality of stepping into a true heavyweight contest.
Who's 18 stone plus against a much smaller guy who really, he's not, you know, he hasn't earned the right, I don't believe, to fight Anthony Joshua. It's not like he's beaten, 4 or 5, top line heavyweights, other heavyweights. I don't believe he's boxed any heavyweights.
As we reach the conclusion of this explosive breakdown, one thing is undeniable. Anthony Joshua's combination of experience, skill, and raw power makes him an almost unstoppable force against a fighter like Jake Paul. Every analyst, from Johnny Nelson to Duke McKenzie, has highlighted the massive gaps in experience, weight, and ring intelligence. Paul may bring confidence and hype, but inside the squared circle, those factors are secondary to strategy, timing, and proven execution areas where Joshua dominates. This matchup isn't just a fight, it's a statement of how elite boxing operates at the highest level. Fans should prepare for a night where AJ's discipline and finishing power dictate the pace from start to finish. The question isn't whether Joshua will win, it's how decisively he will do it. Comment below and tell us, do you think Jake Paul has any real shot, or is this another showcase of Anthony Joshua's dominance? Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss these Inside the Ring breakdowns.